Hi, it's Christmas Day. I'll probably even upload this on Christmas Day. It won't be too long. I'm going to try to plan to make it not too long. Because we have things to do and places to go and people to see. But I just wanted to do a quick wrap up of Christmas Day thus far. It's like 1 in the afternoon. First, straight up, I'm married. Well, I'm married so far above my station, it's not even funny. Sandy, she was at Bricks in the Six, and she's been at other shows with me, and other people have been doing stuff like this and putting stuff on layouts, and she's been asking, I don't know who this is from. I have no idea who that's from. But Sandy said we should do something like that, and I'm going, well, I have no talent and or artistry to do anything like that, design something like that, to whatever. So without my knowledge, she called up my very good and dear friend Basmark, and said, "Hey, Mark." Hey Mark, can you do something? And he did. I'm actually at a loss for words, because like Sandy doing that was it's been I'm gonna say this, it's been an emotional year already for everything that's been going on in our personal lives, and so this has been a quiet, subdued Christmas, which is understandable. For those of you who don't know, my mother-in-law passed away a few weeks ago, and Sandy and I have been, taking care of things. And then I got COVID, which is fantastic, right after my mother-in-law passed away, so I couldn't go to the funeral, which was heart-wrenching in itself. And it goes on from there. So Sandy and I both said it's going to be a very low-key Christmas, because we've had a whole bunch of things to do and things to get done, and it was a busy year, and so I didn't mind the idea of having a nice, quiet Christmas. But she had already planned this. She had talked to my friend Mark and Mark Andre, and anyway, so my Christmas present this year, which we both said we weren't going to get anything for each other. Yes, I got stuff for her, but not as much as I should have, but that just goes without saying. I'm going to mention, I think it's still here on my desk, my friend Mark Andre, I posted, this is the tangent to get into it, I posted after Bricks in the Six, and I think it was even after, no, it was after Bricks in the Six, but before Brickomania. Actually, it was at Brickomania I posted about my adoration of the Commodore 64, because I still, to this day, adore my 64. Oh, wait, I got, here. Those who get it, no, this is not the book that came with the 64. That was a crappy little book. This is the Bible, the Testament. And this is my 5th copy of this book, because I had worn out the previous copies. This is the last one I got. It's actually in pretty good condition. But the previous copies I got, and this has always been one of my favorite posters of all time. It's the actual schematics, as they say, of the Commodore 64. I'm sorry. I will go to my deathbed adoring my Commodore 64. It is. I had so many notes and ripped out pages, and by accident and whatever, I actually wore out my other previous books. I don't know if I got through 5, but I've had a few but I have this. I will always have this. We got rid of a lot of stuff. Trust me, we got rid of a lot of stuff out of this house because downsizing. This book stays. Anyway, so I mentioned my adoration of the Commodore 64, and Marc Andre gives me this the next day. And you can see right here on top, there's the C64. And I even had this one. This one right here. I actually bought that from Radio Shack. It's a programmable little calculator brick. I think it had 8K of memory. I can't remember, but you could actually program it in BASIC. I mean, it didn't have. I mean, it had. This one has. No, it did. It had a display of 25 characters. I can't remember, and you could actually program a nice little BASIC program in there. So, oh, sorry, it was this one over here. That guy there. Okay. This is the. I don't know what that is. And the ZX81, which I never got. I meant to get it at one time. And the Amiga, which I sold because I worked for Computer Odyssey way back in the day. But I never owned because I still adored my Commodore 64 in the Amiga era. Anyway, so he gives me that the next day at the show. And I love him for it. And trust me, these are going to be worked, at least some of these are going to be worked into the layout. So anyway, so for Christmas this year, a few moments ago, a couple hours ago, I unwrapped one of my gifts, and in my gift is this guy here. It's a little Altoids tin with my logo on it. Well, not my logo, but my you can see it's got my YouTube and my Flickr, which are both Sparky 1701. I couldn't get that on the TikToks. Lego Dave K. Lego _ Dave _ K is K-A-Y is my TikTok. Because I can't remember if Sparky 1701 was already taken on my TikToks. Not that I post a lot of my TikToks, but I do post some Lego content on my TikToks. Because I do post, as you can see, the vast majority on the YouTubes. Being here since YouTube started. Anyway, so that's what he came up with. It's fantastic. So now I have my own brick. Yay! So I get to do my next show. I get to put these on people's layouts. And a spare bag of stuff. Same bricks. So I will have enough to do some shows. It's beautiful. It wasn't the bricks themselves, but it's the effort and appreciation of the people I know, especially my wife and my good friend Marc Andre. Like it's heartwarming to know that there are people out there. And even like my phone has been pinging all day with people, friends from the Lego community wishing me specifically, not just a general, but people just pinging me in my text and my messenger, happy Christmas, Dave, and blah, blah. So, but along with that, because this is what Sandy paid for, along with that, and I think this is what, and again, it's not the specific actual brick and stuff, but he sent me this little pin, got a little thing on the back. Oh, this one, this one, the pin got it on the back. This one is just a 4x4 plate or tile, and he's got his little 1x2 designer brick there for himself. Prints.com, and you can see right up there at the top of my list here. Oh, sorry, let me just tilt this up a little tiny bit because it's gonna be it is in the layout now. Millionprints.com at the top there. But this is, as soon as I opened the box, this is what I saw, and this just, I never even thought about it. It never even dawned on me to do something like this. So they got a 1x2 tile, nice little printed tile, just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And again, the print tile, print.com tile, 1x2 tile. But he sent me LL 1701. Now, for those of you who are new, like you have, this is a way of life for me. My earliest memories of my life are watching Star Trek in 1970-ish. Possibly 1970, absolutely 1971. My big brother loved Star Trek, and so did I, because that's what would be on TV. And I still, to this day, love Star Trek, and I adore Star Trek as much as I adore my Commodore 64. And hence the Sparky 1701, because Sparky is just a nickname that's not even really a nickname, because nobody calls me Sparky. It's just that something that's been sticking around for a long time, and from a completely different situation, from a very good near friend. And so things have significance. This is when I was talking about loyalty and appreciation. And this is why I will always prefer Star Trek over Star Wars, but I mean, Star Wars is fine. I grow to like things and people and instances and hobbies and blah, 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 that have always been, look how beautiful that print is. It's just perfect. That have always been, the word loyal imparts, I won't say ownership, but it's above loyalty. It's appreciation to the max. I've always appreciated Star Trek. I've always appreciated Lego. I've always appreciated 1701. I've always appreciated Supertramp. I've always appreciated blah, blah, and it goes on from there. And even new things that come into my life, like Sandy came into my life 20 years ago. I didn't know her when I was a kid, but she is numero uno. But it's hard for me to let things go. I will say that. I guess that's a proper way of putting it. It's hard for me to let things go that I love and cherish and adore. And it's hard for me to let people go that I love and adore and cherish. And so I won't say I'm the best friend on the planet, because like I do take my time responding to people. I really do. People, hey Dave, we should get together. So yeah, we should. And things go by the wayside. Because again, my very, very flaky memory has a tough time with the specifics. Making plans for 6:30 p.m. and blah, blah, blah. But in a general sense, I don't forget things. In a general sense, I don't forget things. As long as the very first episode I remember watching a Star Trek when I was 3 or 4 years old was The Arena. The Arena. I remember this. The Gorn episode. Yes, the Gorn episode. And it was like 1970 or 1971. I was 3 or 4. And I remember vividly the episode. Right? I don't remember hardly anything from when I was 4 years old. I don't remember a thing. Again, I saw The Arena over and over. I've probably seen it over 50 times in my life. But I remember laying on the living room floor with my brother when I was 3 or 4 years old, watching The Arena and remembering vividly that minute, that hour of time. And my other memories of when I was 4, we went to this cottage, and it's kind of a hazy, I'm remembering of this cottage, which I don't remember ever going to again, which is probably why it was hazy. And why I remember The Arena is because I've seen it 50 times since the first time I saw it. But I do remember that was the first episode that I remember seeing. And then, of course, I saw the 77 other episodes a billion times. But my earliest memories are The Arena. And that stuck with me. And I remember loving the episode. Like, I'm 4, right? And you got some guy in a rubber suit, with the universal translator, and Kirk running around making a cannon. But I remember just being captivated, and the Enterprise flying by, and blah, 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 and yada, yada. And so Star Trek captivated my imagination from the get-go. From my earliest memory, Star Trek captivated my imagination. And it's hard for it to, and it's not that it can happen now, but it'd be hard for something that has captivated my interest and my appreciation so much for me to just, I'm done with it now. I'm loyal. I mentioned this. I'm loyal like a puppy. I'm loyal to things and people that impress me or I love and appreciate. And so when Mark Andre did this for me, through Sandy, without my knowledge, Like it moved me. So it's not the specific bricks. It's not the like Lego has moved me in the past, but this I saw this, and I knew about instantly. And I don't know how much effort he put into it, but he put effort into it. And I don't think Sandy mentioned she didn't pay for this part. She just paid for this part, right? This is what she ordered, and this and all this is what Mark sent. Mark Andre sent. This is what he sent, right? So this is all the stuff that he sent over and above, and I cannot tell you how significant that is to me, who appreciates the effort of others and the passion of others as a person who goes through my life. And I mentioned this about my cousin Rick and his car enthusiasm, my Uncle John stamp flexing enthusiasm. I love other people's passion. I love that they're passionate about something, and I love them for it. And I will say this, from the first moment I met Mark Andre years and years ago at BrickFet, I fell in love with him. The very first moment I met him, like not a whatever Eros kind of love, not to go down that tangent, but more of a agape and or whatever kind of love, because he just had this, he exudes this kind of appreciation and enthusiasm for our chosen hobby. He really does. And as a person who's hung around artists his entire life, because my mom was an artist and I've dated artists and I've been around a lot of artists in my life, they have a special je ne sais quoi, shall we say, a special je ne sais quoi that just exudes from them. And I just seem to be, I won't say gravitated like a black hole pulls things in. I from a distance, like I'm like the the James Webb Space, the JWST, I appreciate from a distance, because I remember from my mom. I appreciate from a distance that kind of passion for what they are doing. And I aid where I can, as I am able to. And honestly, this is what I learned from my mom for those 46 years I got to spend with her, 45 years because she's been gone for 11 years now. This is what I learned from being a kid, being a teenager, being an adult, dealing with my mom as an artist. And again, I've mentioned numerous times about stuff, about talking to family and all my uncles and aunts and all of my mom's brothers and sisters and relatives and stuff and friends of the family. My mom was passionate. She's hugely passionate. She was hugely passionate about the stuff she was passionate about. You had to find a way to liaise with my mom that fit into her scope of her life that she was living. She was living her life on her terms. Most people can say that, and I hope most people can say that, but specifically with my mom, I used this because I did the eulogy at her funeral. I used the word uncompromising over and over and over again at my mom's funeral, because she was uncompromising in the stuff that she adhered to almost religiously. She was uncompromising on the stuff she would never compromise on. And again, I mentioned earlier in this episode that I'm uncompromising on some specific things. I will always love Star Trek. I can't see a time when I've 56 years and 54 years of doing this that I'm never going to, I hate Star Trek and I'm going to put it away and never watch it again. Never going to happen, as far as I know. I'm uncompromising on that stuff. I'm uncompromising to stuff that I adore. This is 40 years old. This is over 40 years old. What's this published? What, I gotta figure this out because it's a first edition, 1983. Anywho, I am loyal. I would still, if I wasn't in computer science, taking care of computers all day long, I would still have my Commodore 64 entire setup set up in the house, and I'd be playing with it every once in a while. I would, but I don't have the time, but I will always appreciate it. I will always adore my Commodore 64. I have my appreciation here that has never waned, never once waned in my 50 plus years of my life. And I got into a little bit of a thing, and this is already going on a little bit too long. There was somebody who said, I was in my Facebook feed, and instantaneously my hackles got up. My hackles got up. And basically they said, there are two types of Lego fans. Type 1 is people who say Legos. There's two types of fans who say the word Legos, or just use Legos in the course of conversation. Type 1 are brand new fans who just don't know better. And type 2, he says, are trolls who are just looking to start a fight. And I'm going, that's utter crap. And I even responded as such, except I was more polite in my response. There's a third type of fan that can't stand pedantry. Like you, and I've said this a million times, you enjoy the hobby the way you want to enjoy the hobby. Do not, and I've gone on tangents about this, I won't go too long this one, rant about this. Do not force other fans to adhere to your wants and desires for this hobby. As long as they're not harming anybody else, as long as they're not being malicious and whatever to anybody else, I don't care. And so when I was a kid, I didn't get, and I got it right over there somewhere, I'm not going to dig it up right now, I got the trademark booklet from Lego Company because I got a legal letter for that. I showed up before. I got a legal letter from legal company because they're trying to protect their trademark, and I won't fault them for trying to protect their trademark. I want them to protect their trademark because I want them to continue to make this stuff for me so I can have fun, and you guys can have fun. We can all have fun. But since I was 4 years old, it's been Legos. Let's go play with Legos. Let's go. We didn't say Lego bricks. Lego TM bricks. We didn't do any of that when we were kids. We didn't do it. We didn't do it when we were teenagers. When we made Lego Wars, we didn't call it Lego bricks. We said, hey, we're going to play Legos. And I get why the Lego company is doing that, to say Lego bricks, because they don't want the, watered down of the trademark, because then Mega Block or Mega Construction, whatever they call themselves now, can say, oh, Legos. They use the exact analogy of Kleenex, because Kleenex was a brand name, not just a tissue. It was the Kleenex tissues. But everybody just called them Kleenexes. And the Kleenex company didn't do a thing about it back in 50, 80 years ago. And now whatever company produces tissues, they're called Kleenexes. We just call them Kleenexes. The waters down the brand name, so the company cannot keep the brand name anymore. So Lego Company is very, very passionate about making sure that no other clone brand can use the word Legos or whatever, Lego, in their brand. And I 100%, but me saying Legos is not going to, I can guarantee you, every piece in here, asterisk, every piece in here is from the Lego Company. Every single one. And that's because I am a fan of Lego, AFOL. I know the difference between Lego and clone brands. And then every time I get used lots, all the clone brands either go back to the thrift shop or they go in the garbage can. That's where they go. There are no clone brands here in this room, except some I got in a garbage can because I got a couple used lots. I passionately will not use clone brands in any of my constructions, any of my shows, any of my room, ever. There's not one single piece of clone brand here, period. So don't come after the choir. Do not come, you other fans, don't preach to the choir about I should be saying Lego bricks. Lego is an adjective, it's the company name. It's trademarked, it's not the actual, this is Lego brick. I call it Legos. Sometimes I'll say Lego bricks, I don't care. But I am not going to change how I say things because some other kids got their knickers in a knot. I don't care. You absolutely, if you want to passionately adhere to that copyright thing that I got from the Lego Company, absolutely, and I support you, and I appreciate you, and I applaud you for it. Absolutely. And when I'm usually talking in public, I'll just casually remember most of the time say Lego bricks. Yeah, this whole layout's built with Lego bricks. But if I let Legos slip once in a while and some kid gets offended, I don't care. Your offense does mean zero to me, except for making these one long tangents. And so I responded. I said, there's a third type of fan, those who do not get into the getting mad at the choir for supporting the company as much as we do. Look how much we support the company. And again, this is a small collection compared to my friends. And so getting down into the pedantry of you must, there's no law in the books that says I must say Lego bricks, but the company would appreciate it if I did. And I appreciate the company telling me that. And every once in a while, I will actually say it. But to force me to say it, go to wherever. So anyway, that was a whole tangent that I didn't mean to get into. That just happened the other day. So my response was blocked. And I was more polite in my response and my wording, saying there's a third type of fan, those who do not get bogged down into this kind of minutiae of whatever. Even though I fully detailed that I know it, because I got the thing right there from the company. I know where they're coming from, and I appreciate where they're coming from. But I ain't gonna adhere to it religiously. There's a point that I'm not adhering to it religiously. I once I think about it, I absolutely try. If I'm talking in public, absolutely Lego bricks as much as possible, and it comes naturally every once in a while. But if I'm saying, hey, honey, I'm gonna go play with my Legos, like for me, there is zero distinction, because when I say Legos, I mean Lego. Lego bricks. This is what I mean by Lego bricks. Anyway, I'm done with that. I appreciate a whole bunch of stuff and a whole bunch of people, and this Christmas has already been, this Christmas season has already been emotional. Really, really quick, and this is not me getting naked. I wore this Christmas, and again, for those of you who know, but this one is a special shirt, and I keep it for special occasions. When we built the original sub, because we are wont to do, I went over to my good friend Terry Litzen back in the day, who was one of our phys ed teachers at Winona High School, but he also had, him and his brother were running, I think it was his brother, running Litzen Sports in Dundas, Ontario, who supplied our high school with our shorts and shirts, Winona phys ed, and uniforms and crap for football teams and stuff. Litzen Sports, I don't know if they're still there, they're probably not still there. but Mr. Litzen ran a the sporting shop. But so I went to him one day. This is after we built the sub after high school, but I still knew who he was, and I stopped by his shop in Dundas, and I had a picture of the submarine, and I said, "Can you put this in a T-shirt?" He said, "Absolutely, Dave, absolutely," and he charged me a very, very good charge. Love the guy. And so we bought 20, 30 of them, and then we sold or gave them to friends, because hey. And I gave one to my mom back in the day. Now, my friend John, Mark, and I wore, my voice is all of a sudden gone. We wore ours so much that they just kind of like, just faded away, like they're like full of holes and like Swiss cheese and threadbare, as they say. And he eventually got thrown out. So, and I was going to order another set, but whatever. And so when my mom passed away, and again, this is where it comes from, this is where it's going to again. And I love my mom. I love my mom a lot. Like unbelievably much, even though she was, uncompromising on so many things that we had a lot of discussions about over the years. So when I was cleaning up her apartment and going through her clothes, I found the shirt in one of her drawers that was folded up. This is 40 years after the fact, or 30 years after the fact. No, more than 30 years. 35 years. When did we build the sub? Early 20s. Anyway, a long time ago. The shirt was folded up, and there was no original packaging, because Terry Litzen wouldn't, this is the 80s, they didn't do that. But it had the original folds in it. It was folded up. She put it in the drawer and she left it there. She never wore it. And so most of her clothes, all my aunts and cousins were there, and they distributed the clothes that they wanted from my mom. She had some nice clothes, and the rest of it went to the thrift store, whatever. So donated to whoever. But I kept the shirt, which was mint from when I gave it to her 30 years before, whenever I gave it to her. And so today, on Christmas Day, after losing my mother-in-law just a month ago, and wanting a familial idea of mums, I don't have anything from my mother-in-law that I could have worn. so I put on this shirt. I saw it in a drawer this morning, and I put it on. So and I put it underneath this one because I don't want this in pictures. But I wore this shirt because, again, I tried to be as significant as I possibly can for me in situations where I think it entails some sort of significance for me. Nobody else has to be involved in it. I do things a lot that I appreciate, that nobody else has to know about. And I don't want to go on this tangent at 30 minutes. I do things of significance for me, and nobody else has to appreciate it, and nobody else has to know about it. And this derives from my old biblical teachings of Pharisees who do wanton displays of worship and prayer. I'm the guy who would pray in my closet. I do things to signify significance for my life, for me, and nobody else has to know. I don't have to trumpet it to the world. Although I just did. But this is the point I'm making. And so I will hide or put these bricks somewhere in the layout, these tiles somewhere in the layout. I will tell Mark Andre the next time I see him how much I love him again. Because every time I see him, I tell him how much I love him. I also wanted to say Merry Christmas to everybody out there, by the way, because it has been a week. And it was a week of getting ready for Christmas, and it was a week of doing a whole bunch of other stuff that had nothing to do with Lego for a change. And being with Sandy, because right now, because of her mom being gone, we are, this has been put on the back burner for a few days. And I came down here just to make that video about the bricks and go off on a few tangents, and to tell you, all of you, each of you, how much I appreciate you, and that you can sit here and listen to me blather on about stuff. Because in the end, this is all that matters. It is. It is the friendships. It's the forget the daily grind and all that stuff and the work and blah 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 and keeping food on the table, which is also very important. But without the je ne sais quoi, the artistry, the appreciation, the subtle, nuanced life of friends, and the efforts that people put in to doing things for you that are completely unexpected but completely needed at the time, I will love Marc Andre again for this. And after the emotional stuff that's been going on for the last couple months, that brought a tear to my eye. It's not the brick Lego has brought, but as I say, it's the effort and the thought that he put into this. Now, I don't know why he did. I don't know what he was thinking when he did this. I didn't ask him. Maybe, hey, Dave's a friend, I'm just going to do this for him, right? I don't know how much more extra effort it took to make these. But for me, looking at it now, after what I've just been through and what my family's been through for the last couple months, this was appreciated. It really was. This was appreciated. It really was. Like, it was really appreciated. And anyway, I cannot trumpet the praises of the people I know enough, including you who are watching this. I cannot trumpet the appreciation from me to you enough, ever. My friends and family are the best that I know of. And singularly, I mentioned this before so much. I feel so blessed every day of my life, no matter what's going on. I feel so blessed to know you and to know that you're out there in the world doing stuff that you're doing. And so every once in a while we'll liaise, two ships passing, that whatever you want to call it. We'll mesh, we'll interface for a minute or two, and that's honestly what keeps me going. And my family is part of that too. That's what keeps me going. I'm the older I get, the more I appreciate just the little things. Just a hello, that's perfect. Hi Dave, how are you? That's perfect. Sandy and I, as we said, we spent very minimal on each other this year, and it was perfectly acceptable. And just sitting with her for the last week, watching Hallmark movies has been wonderful. I loved every minute of it, just sitting with her and just vegging on the couch and watching Hallmark movies. Yeah, so that's it. I'm going to wrap this up. 36 minutes. Merry Christmas, everybody. I appreciate you. I hope everybody's having a happy holiday season. And I will be busy over the next couple weeks because I'm on vacay and we're going to go do stuff. And so I don't know if I'm going to get more videos up here. We'll see. And we'll just go from there. We'll wing it as we are wont to do. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care, stay safe, and live long and prosper.